Need for Speed did not learn its lesson. As I'm sure a lot of you know, Need for Speed Unbound Volume 4 recently dropped, and it includes a whole bunch of new additions to the game, a new speed pass, 2 new DLC cars, which follow along with the 75th anniversary of Porsche theme, so the Taycan, and that legendary Customs 911 that we saw on event cards in the game are now a thing. And there's also a bunch of new DLC packs, including a G-Wagon that comes with its own set of challenges and events, and something else as well. Volume 4 also includes something called the Volume 4 Customs Pack, and in that Volume 4 Customs Pack is Rachel's 350Z, Joe's Polestar 1 from Need for Speed Heat, and Eddie's Skyline. All of these cars, as I'm sure you're aware, were available in Need for Speed Heat, and they could be unlocked by progressing through the game. As I'm sure some of you are also aware, these cars are in Need for Speed Unbound's files, and they can be accessed through a little bit of coding. Yeah, we now have to pay real money for them. $6 to be exact. In other words, Need for Speed has done it again. Why do I say again? Well, first of all, it's not the first time that Need for Speed has had ridiculous monetary economics like this with DLC, and it's also not my first time talking about it, because if you've been around here for a while, when I was still called Core, I made a bunch of rant videos about Need for Speed DLC, because I don't know if you remember with Payback, each of the DLC cars, the Aston DB5 and the Pontiac Firebird, were both $3.99 each, and then the McLaren F1 was not only $4.99, but it was also an unfair advantage compared to every other car in the game, whereas the free DLC car was one of the slowest in the game. I'm referring to the DB11 Volante, of course. And now they're doing it again. We have to pay $6 for 3 cars that are already in the game files and that we could access through progression in the previous game. This is bullshit. First of all, it highlights a lot of the problems that I have and that most people also have with live service games. Live service is not an excuse to charge people money for features that are already there. Live service is meant to add and improve to the game, not add stuff that was already in there but then put it behind the paywall. That's not live service. That's milking the people who play the fucking game. And another thing as well, it's not like EA and Criterion Games have bad examples in the world of racing games to look at in terms of live service. Check out The Crew. The Crew 2, and I assume also Motorfest when it does come out, have and will have the best live service model ever. If you can get past the microtransactions, which I will admit a lot of people can't, and I don't know if I'd be able to, that's one of the main reasons why I stopped playing The Crew 2 in the first place, but every single car in The Crew 2's DLC has been free, aside from a few season pass cars technically, because you'd have to buy the season pass, and they're constantly adding new challenges, new customization items. All the cars are properly detailed with interiors and their own customization, and then the Gran Turismo 7, also every single update has free cars. I mean, for crap's sake, they just added a Toyota ambulance in Gran Turismo 7. I mean, that's not the main point here, the type of stuff that they're adding. Rather, EA and Criterion Games have perfect examples for live service to look at in the scope of arcade and simulation racing games, and they're still doing this. They're still charging money for stuff that's already in the game, and they're still putting it behind a paywall. And I'm just scared, what's going to happen next? Are they going to start putting customization items behind paywalls? It's really messed up and not really fair to the players. And it's also very symptomatic of live service. And I think that the Need for Speed franchise needs a complete rethink of what live service is. Now, we don't know what's going on. The team is not very big, and as you can see, they're knocking out updates every 2 or 3 months because they have to split resources and development between updates for Unbound and I presume the next game. No matter how they decide or what they're doing with these updates or how they decide to go about them, this is not it. It's just unfair to the players to put stuff that's already in the game behind a paywall. Live service is also kind of a lame excuse to re-add features that were supposed to be in the game at launch. Again, I understand if they weren't able to make them work in time for release, especially with Unbound, because we know it was a little bit of a mess in terms of development. But it's kind of a lame excuse. Oh, this feature that very obviously should have been in the game at launch, that will be part of live service. But at least they're doing good things in that regard with the live service. They're actually adding cool features like link-ups and cops and free roam and multiplayer and so on. And I don't think anybody would be interested in paying $6 when you can just download one of the many different Unbound mods like Unbound Remix and just get the cars like that. Let's not forget that those mods also enable you to unlock those customization parts yourself. So I think that the Need for Speed franchise needs a serious rethink and and a reevaluation of what the hell live service actually is and what it should be. And I would also love to do a video explaining how live service should be done for the next game, in my opinion, or indeed, if there's still time left, how they could change it for Unbound. And if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. That's really about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of this bullshit live service stuff for Need for Speed Unbound in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.